The people can hear us now.
Okay, excellent.
Stop all those things that you were saying, Brandt. Come now.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
All right. I should also. We got a new inhaler, boys. That's right. Look at this weird little spaceship for that pre-show puff. I know. Albuterol sulfate, also known as the lifeblood of the universe. You know what I'm talking about, boy? This is probably a weird thing. If someone is just tuning in for the first time, they're like, this is weird, right?
I mean, I've tuned in several times. I still think it's weird.
Fair enough. And then open up that Coke Zero Sugar. Let's get wild. Now you know that you're ready for a podcast, Brandt.
I do. Oh my goodness, the taste of Coca-Cola.
Oh my goodness, the fake taste of Coca-Cola with zero sugar. All right. It is Saturday, April 25th, 2020, and you're listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your conductor on this choo-choo podcast train. A choo-choo. Let's go. And joining me this week, we have, as always, Tony Horvath.
What's up, boy?
Brian Nabashin Jackson.
I will find him. I will find him, Laura. I will find him!
It's like, what reference is this? Who is Laura? And joining us this week, the first guest that we've had out in maybe a year, I would say. It's been a very long time. My good friend and yours, Brandt Range.
Hi. I can't quite match the excitement of the last introduction. I also can't hear anything anymore, but that's fine.
That's all right. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, Brandt.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so used to actually being with you when we record these things. But thank you. You know, I really appreciate being on the show. These are strange times, and it's always good to have a little sense of normalcy and hang out with people and talk games and podcast on the internet. So this is a boon for me, I'll say. Yeah,
obviously it's lovely to have you on. It's weird that here we are, 2020, the first remote podcast that Brandt is on. Every other time you've been here with me, so
yeah, yes. So it is weird. I'm used to a more visceral Alex O'Neill experience than just this virtual one.
Yeah, I promise.
But
it will get visceral.
you are full screen on my computer though. Like all I see is you.
Yes, all there is me. I'll make you full screen on mine, so that way all the people see is you.
It's Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Oh. I wouldn't have known. I would not have known anywhere in my mind. Man, what brought that on? Now I just have to know. Was it just in?
Oh, it was always a backlog thing. Someone was like, I can't think of anything. Let me write something down as far as like a backup. That was funny from years ago. Sure. Why don't I just use this one? I can't think of anything.
I gotta see this like Google Doc that you've got. This list of backup Nabashin intros. Just for my own curiosity. Welcome, everyone, to Irrational Passions Podcast. It's a video games podcast. Every Saturday on the YouTubes, we are live and we're talking about video games. And then Tuesday, for your podcasting service of choice, if you want to listen to the nice, clean, edited audio version of the show. This is going to be a fun one. Obviously, Brandt's here. We don't have a Scott Guth here right now. He might be joining us soon. Unsure. This is, if you listen to last week's podcast, this is my first show from my new location, my underground bunker, IP Studios Gamma. So we'll see how it goes. So far, so good. The internet is better right now than it was where nothing should have been wrong last time. So hopefully it will continue to work. But I'm getting new internet soon, which I'm very excited about.
Good internet?
I'm getting gigabit internet, which I'm very excited about. But if you've never listened before, this is a show where we talk about video games. Normally, Irrational Passions Podcast brought to you by irrationalpassions.com. There's a website with stuff on it that you can go check out. Nothing went up this week, actually. We took a week off of Raccoon City Radio, our Resident Evil podcast. I was very distracted by moving, so I didn't get the podcast up until literally just before we did this, or recording this. So if you missed anything, go to irrationalpassions.com. Just check any of the older stuff there because there's a lot of great stuff, including if you're not listening to Raccoon City Radio, if you don't care about it, it's a Resident Evil 3 show right now. We're talking about Resident Evil 3. We're going to hopefully get some very fun guests on, but we're recording the last recap of Resident Evil 3 episode tomorrow. Me and Andrew Taylor are doing so. And that'll be up on Tuesday, and then hopefully we'll have a few more episodes with some guests and just talking about Resident Evil as a whole. But that's really the only thing I want to touch on. No real intro, no nothing. Everybody knows the deal. It's QuarantineCast episode 5. We're deep in it, but we got games to talk about. Brandt, you're here. You've been playing video games, I've been told.
I have been. So yeah, one of the long-running bits is that I come on this show and then I have nothing really to talk about because I don't play video games as often as I used to. But I don't know if you know this. There's not a lot going on in the outside world right now for a lot of people. I'm very fortunate that my new job is completely internet-based, so I'm able to socially distance myself and quarantine and all that business. So I'm in the fortuitous place where I have the luxury of spending my non-commute hours or work hours doing stuff that I like. So I have been playing video games, and primarily at this point I've been playing Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of a Distant Age S Deluxe Edition on the Nintendo Switch. I put like 60 hours into that game.
So I asked this question in Nabishin a lot, and this Nabishin, this is the only Dragon Quest game you've played, as far as I know, right? So I just like, for someone who is like not into Dragon Quest, and you're more of like a traditional JRPG fan, Brandt, I would say.
Am.
So like, what's like the pitch on Dragon? Like, what is like the hook of those games that kind of differentiates them from the greater RPG genre? Like what's Dragon Quest all about?
So I've played 3 Dragon Quest games. This is the first one that I've completed, and now it's like the main kind of story is finished. But I think that
it's like a post game.
The Switch game has additional post game content because it's the deluxe edition or something. It was released afterwards. I find Dragon Quest games to be kind of like a really good anthology of short stories, where there is an entire kind of single player JRPG experience, and there are like ups and downs, but every town that you go to and every area and every side quest, it really feels like this anthology of these smaller stories that I get like kind of really invested in. There's emotional resonance, and every place is a little bit different, and all JRPGs, the good ones, should be like that, but I really feel like there are a bunch of mini arcs that fit into this larger picture that make the world feel a little bit more alive than it may in a game that's a little bit more linear. I mean, there's still a lot of JRPG tropes. You still have and you don't have random battles here, but you still have turn-based battles. But the hook there is that you can change the battle speed. You can boost it up to 3x a normal battle speed. So level grinding was really no big deal. I could just run around an area for half an hour, gain a few levels, and then kind of take on the boss. Save areas aren't few and far between. They're actually, they're well spaced, and there's enough of them. I found the skill tree system to kind of be in this one to be kind of like the Final Fantasy X grid, the sphere grid, where you have options of which skills you would like to put your points that you accumulate after every level into. So you have a little bit of freedom there, which I really appreciate. And then if you go to the save points, you can actually reallocate those skill points kind of later on. If you'd like, you have to pay some sort of a price, and I never ended up doing it. But if you feel like, oh no, I put way too much, like I over-indexed on this part of the skill tree, and really I don't use great swords, I use regular swords, then you can actually course correct as opposed to having to live with your mistakes. There are a whole bunch of things like that really make the JRPG experience way easier and more enjoyable and streamlined. There's just a lot less of a slog to go through to enjoy the game. And I've played, like I said, 3 Dragon Quest games, and this is the one I've played to completion. And I'm going to tell you right now, Dragon Quest is just like EDM. There's always, you're going along and you're rocking and you're bopping your head and all
There's
that
always
stuff.
a drop.
And there's always a drop. And it always kind of comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh, so really like this thing that I thought of, that I thought was a big deal, actually, we zoomed out and it's a smaller deal and it just fits into this larger story.
It's all
I don't know.
multiplayer.
Yeah, it's all multiplayer, yeah.
It's actually just a text-based adventure.
Exactly.
I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It's one of those things where I like a good JRPG when there are stressful things going on out in the real world. I like to kind of fall into a larger game. I like to fall into a world that I can really kind of get lost in. And before I got Dragon Quest XI, which is a birthday gift, I was replaying A Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for that same exact experience. I wanted to get lost in Hyrule. And that game was also kind of fun to revisit. I hadn't played it really in 3 years. It was interesting to kind of go through that experience again. After all the DLC dropped, so that kind of changed things around a little bit, like the master mode and being able to retrace your steps for 200 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But also because I wasn't trying to like see everything because it was a new Zelda, I could take it at a slower pace and really appreciate the freedom that the game gives you and the spirit of exploration. I mean, it's not like I disregarded those things the first time around, but I feel like I could take a moment to appreciate some of the vistas and just being able to jump off any of the towers and use the glider. And I don't know, it's these bigger games are the ones that have been capturing really my attention lately. And there's one that ties into the news that we can get into a little bit later, which I've been doing Mario Maker, but I've been playing one super incredibly random game, and I want everybody on this panel to try and guess what this super incredibly random game is. You have to go like 10 layers of extraction out, like just throw out the strangest title that you could possibly think of that I'm playing.
Is it a known random game?
Yeah, I mean, people have heard of it.
Is it WarioWare Deluxe?
No, although you're closer than you are far.
Damn. I it's worth noting also Scott Guthier is now here. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
He's like, actually, no, I'm not here. Don't even.
All right, so we had Wario
50 Cent
Deluxe.
Blood on the Sand.
You are further than you are close.
Okay. Damn. WarioWare Deluxe. WarioWare Deluxe. So is it Wario World?
No.
For the GameCube.
No. Although no. I still have taste.
All right, that game's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It's too easy.
All right. All right. I'm gonna give you one more hint. It is in the Mario universe.
Mario Paint.
All right, that is very close. I have been playing, because you can play it on archive.org and a web browser, Mario Teaches Typing.
Oh my goodness.
Because I know how to, I'm like nominally a professional journalist, and I know I've been typing on computers for years, but I don't do it well. I don't do it the correct way. I don't hunt and peck with my two index fingers, but I don't have both of my hands always on the keyboard. I don't have the 8-finger kind of situation where I can type super quickly. So if you go to the archive.org, you can play Mario Teaches Typing, and you know what? It's a good game. It's a good game about teaching you how to type. Like all of it's a game that is trying to teach you one particular thing, and it does it super well. And I don't know, y'all. I encourage everybody to check it out.
Where does it rank in the Mavis Beacon scale? Which year edition of Mavis Beacon does Mario Teaches Typing outrank? 2002? That was a good one. Remember the little rat mini game that it had to do or whatever?
2002 was a banger. I don't know. I mean, it's the archive.org thing. If you don't know, they've uploaded, I don't know, thousands of DOS games. So there are a lot of the older Macintosh kind of learning games are available there, and there's
Number Muncher?
I think Number Muncher is on there. I want to check out Treasure Cove, but I went to Mario Teaches Typing because I was there for a purpose. I wanted to see. I've never played it before because I was born in 91, So I still remember when I was a kid, 5, 6, 7, going to computer class, like a class to teach you what a computer was and how it operated. But I think I must have been just a little too young or something to have actually been using the Mario Teaches Typing program like as a tool. But I don't know. I really think that it's effective in a way that I assume that it would be campy, and it is campy. The Italian American voice that tells you to start typing is not good. That's not a voice
from a 91 DOS game or whatever.
We use 92.
92.
So that aside, also the sun. There's a sun in the first world.
Like Scary Sun from like Mario 2 or whatever?
No, it's a sun that's clearly stoned. And it's in the upper right-hand corner just smiling down at you. And that's kind of creepy a little bit. It's not the angry sun. It's a very happy sun. It's a sun that just drank a Capri Sun because it was 1992. So I encourage everybody to play Dragon Quest XI. And
Mario Teaches Typing.
If you want to learn how to improve your words per minute, you should check out Mario Teaches Typing. It's yet another one of his many skills. So basically you just type as you're running along. It's like an endless runner in a way, or like an auto scroller. It keeps, Mario keeps running, and then you have to hit the correct key to break the block or jump on the Goomba or the Koopa. And if you mess up, then it doesn't let you pass, but it lets you try as many times as you possibly can. There's not a lot of like penalization.
Oh yeah. Well, when I was in middle school playing that game, you just like, rub your hand all over the keyboard just like to see who could do that faster. That's how we used to do it.
I think
winning that game.
I love it.
I think that there's this potential. There's this weird potential where if it's not hot yet, I think 2020 could be the year of the Super Mario Teaches Typing speedrun. I think that could be a legitimate thing.
I'm pretty sure that is a thing.
Or high scores or whatever, because it's 2-minute rounds.
Tune into our Extra Life Mario Teaches Typing race.
I want to get good. It was really fun and encouraging. I'm probably only going to play for like 15 or 20 minutes per day, but
every single day for the rest of your life, absolutely.
But I think Mario might teach me how to type. He's already taught me how to love.
He's taught you how to live too.
Yeah, he's taught me how to jump. He's taught me how to shoot fireballs, or alternatively, kind of rubber balls out of my hands.
He's taught you how to talk to an ex on the phone while you needed something to do with your hands. You told me that you would play through the original Super Mario Brothers.
That is, I was 16 years old. I would call my girlfriend on the phone every night at 9 o'clock, because that's when you could call people without using your family's pools of minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I would load up the Wii Virtual Console, and I would beat Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers, 4 times. And after I beat Super Mario Brothers 4 times, I knew it was time for the phone call to end.
I will say I have watched Brandt play the original Super Mario Brothers, and he does know that game by heart. It's incredible.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I do the warps run.
Yeah.
So there are really only like 4 stages.
But still.
That need knowing. But
it's
yeah.
a tougher game to know,
Yeah, it's World 8-3 is the stage that I really don't like. There's a lot of Hammer Brothers, and if you get hit there, then you're Small Mario going into the final castle, and you're gonna want that. You were gonna want to be Super Mario just so you can get a hit, so you can just run through Bowser and kind of beat the game.
Words of wisdom, words to live by. Mario Teaches Typing, man. You're right.
Mario Teaches Typing. He's an excellent teacher. He's an excellent typist based on the game I'm playing.
Maybe. I am curious when so I assume you're kind of done with Breath of the Wild.
For the time being, I might go back to it. I put probably, I don't know, 60, 70 hours into it, and I could definitely see myself going back, but I'm definitely taking a break.
Did you do all the DLC stuff?
I haven't done all the DLC. There's still stuff for me to do, but I'm trying to take my time and appreciate it, do all the shrines, talk to more people. I played that game for a long time, my first playthrough, and I never boarded a horse. I never bought a house. There's so many parts of that game that I didn't experience because after a certain point I just wanted to beat it. that
Totally.
now going back and actually not having that anxiety or desire because I kind of know where the story goes, it makes a free game even more free feeling.
Yeah. There is like a lot of like weird pressure. I remember when we like were texting about it when it had just come out and talking about like seeing the towns and seeing all the things. There was like this almost I had an almost obsessive need to go everywhere.
Right.
Which to be fair, like when I played that game, I definitely took my time. I didn't rush through it, but as it was the only thing I played for 115 hours straight, it's a lot to try and force yourself to see. But yeah, there's some like really fun, totally hidden things in that game that I didn't see until I went back and played it a second time.
It's a beautiful game. Like it really is.
There's still shrines I haven't done in that game. I've still never done all of them, and I'd like to at some point.
Man.
What else have you been playing, Brandt?
Okay, well, two more things. The second to last, my girlfriend and I are going to play through Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario World together. She's traditionally liked JRPGs. She was a lapsed gamer, but now because I'm getting more into it, she's playing games again, which is really cool. So she's never played Mario 3 or Mario World to completion, and they're both available on the Switch Online service, so we're going to be playing those kind of co-op and taking advantage of the fact that you can rewind when you mess up.
Yes. Super clutch.
Yeah, it is super clutch. And then I have been playing, which I feel like was virtually shadow dropped, Super Mario Maker World Edition update.
Yes.
That's super cool. Like
this is the thing I want to know the most about, because I haven't looked at this at all yet.
Sure. So, I mean, what you see is what you get. People are capable of making worlds. They're capable of making kind of multiple level worlds and then multiple world kind of mini games of, within the Super Mario Maker oeuvre. So they can be a mix of different styles. So you can have, let's say the first world of 4 is 6 stages. 2 can be original Mario, 2 can be World, 3 can be 3, a couple can be new Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario 3D Land, excuse me. And people can kind of mix and match. And the good thing about the world aspect is that there can be the sense of difficulty progression. So World 1-1 is typically not like a fiery hellscape unless it's made by kind of like a speed runner or kind of like a glitch hunter or whatever. And so, that's simple. And then World 4, Stage 3 can be brutal. And I like the fact that you can, it gives creators, people who really love that game, a way to think about the way that they construct the levels in a grander sense.
Yeah.
I think that really kind of opens up the possibilities of not trying to cram one giant level with as much as you can possibly conceive of, because you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. In fact, I'm seeing that the levels in these worlds are they're typically shorter than traditional Super Mario Maker levels, because they don't, there can be a larger narrative that they fit into. And I just think that that's phenomenal. I haven't seen people using the Super Mario Brothers 2 elements, so I haven't played stages with Phanto in them. I haven't played stages with like the key or like kind of
The
whatever
weird mushroom that makes
the
you...
weird mushroom or the sand dunes or any of that type of stuff. But I don't know, it really kind of revitalized that game for me. I've always liked Mario Maker and I'll pop in and out of it, but this update really, it came out of nowhere, and it was the feature I didn't necessarily know that I wanted, just because I didn't think Nintendo would necessarily ever do it.
Yeah, that was my feeling too. I just didn't think they would do it.
Yeah, the one drawback for me that kind of takes me out of the experience is that each level is like loaded individually. So there's a world map, and you go, you clear World 1, Level 1, then you go to World 1, Level 2, and you hit A, and then, it pauses for 5 seconds, and then it like loads into that level. It doesn't download that entire kind of experience in one shot, and I wish that there was some buffering there, because it breaks the flow a little bit. It like breaks the illusion that it's a real Mario world.
Yeah. Did you feel like the Nintendo kind of messed up how they were like I don't want to say marketing, but how hard they were selling Mario Maker 2. It feels like they just did not give that game the same love that they gave the first one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a game that I think is really cool, and yet it was easy to forget about. And it just the base package kind of improved technically on a lot of the stuff that Mario Maker 1 was kind of known for, but there's just no support. And the fact that this is the last major update or big or substantial update, and we're not even like a year out from the game's official launch.
Yeah,
because it launched around E3 last year. I think that's really unfortunate, because you're leaving some of the fans who are so passionate about your IP that they want to actually make levels, that they actually want to take the time to kind of pay homage to the levels that they liked as a kid or express their creativity. The fact that you're limiting the amount of tools that you're giving them, it does feel like they're being slighted. Not as badly as they slighted Zelda fans with the Link's Awakening dungeon builder, which I think is
terrible.
Not good. It's good because if you play enough of them, you get like a bottle and a piece of heart.
Yeah,
and a bunch of shells that you need.
Yes.
But beyond that, that was supremely disappointing and kind of kind of dampened my enthusiasm for a true Zelda maker. In fact, people have been making, using Mario Maker's Zelda, Link costume to be like a Zelda maker.
Yeah.
Although Link's Awakening, since Link's Awakening actually took a whole bunch of, nodded to the Mario series a lot with the fact that it had Goombas and jumping and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of games, and now I'm gonna add an interactive element to Irrational Passions.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I'm gonna add 3 dimensions. So what I did, like I mentioned earlier, kind of weird flex. It was my birthday recently. Fun fact: Alex is 3 years and 2 days younger than I am. His birthday is 2 days before.
2 years and 2 days. All right.
2 years and 2 years and 2 days. My new album dropping now.
Yeah.
And so it was my birthday recently. I got I got a little bit of birthday money from my mom. Big ups to her. And I went to a grocery store for the first time in several weeks. And you know what they had in Stop and Shop? Nintendo eShop gift cards, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
So I bought Nintendo eShop gift cards.
Yeah.
Which I have like a little mini rant on that.
Excellent.
So I have $100. I had $100 of Nintendo Fun Bucks and also a bunch of gold coin points or whatever. So here you go. I've been on the fence here because I've been doing a media blackout. Should I right now pre-order Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition?
Ooh.
Should I do it? I have seen half of one trailer. I have played 10 hours of it on the 3DS. Never played it on the Wii.
What did you think of those 10 hours, man?
Should I buy? I mean, I've grown a lot since the new Nintendo 3DS came out.
The new Nintendo 3DS, keep in mind.
It was good, but it was also, I think, the 3DS. It was weird to play. I thought it would be better on the go, but then I didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I would say for you, and this is just me starting it off here, and I want to hear what the other boys have to say too. But,
I can't wait. I'm throwing it to y'all.
I would say for you, probably it's a yes. I feel like that's more of on the traditional JRPG end of things, a la a Dragon Quest, and if you're into the kinds of things that game does, I think you'd be into what I've heard about Xenoblade. But the things I hear praise about Xenoblade are the combat, the characters in the world. But again, I played an hour of it on the Wii, and I didn't like any of it. So,
Alex, do you hate British accents? Is that what we're learning right now?
Well, no, it's not that. It was more of I don't know. It seems like it starts very, very slow, and I've heard that is true of that game. It takes 10 hours before things get wild. So maybe you were just before things were really about to pop off. I don't know. But I think that you, in the same way of it was harder for me to get into Dragon Quest. I think you like to sink your teeth into those things a little bit more. Right now, if I were to jump into it, I don't know if I'd be able to get into it, but it seems like a Brandt Ranch video game.
All right, what about the rest of the panel here? Spend or save? Brandt Ranch's money.
Ben!
Yeah, Tony's always on the spend side. You gotta spend those bucks.
It's always a golden rule. I feel if you're unsure about something, just wait for reviews and just like make sure you actually want it. Like especially if you're a person who doesn't like if you're a person who doesn't like who's willing to gamble with stuff like video games, as far as like, oh, it can be bad, but like at least it's a talking point, and like I don't mind spending the money on it, like something like Days Gone, which is something I knew I was gonna like actually get into, but it's like, hey, I might like it, I don't know, and if I don't like it, whatever. It was just a time, it was just an experience. So I just played like maybe like 30 minutes of it, and I never went back to it. So that was a waste of money, but hey.
I spent 60 United States dollars on Rage 2, and I put 18 hours into that game and finished it. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it. I think there was a shotgun at some point, and it was not as good as I would want it to be. So,
now it seems like I'm recalling like a drunken memory. Like I seem to recall liking the game. But I didn't know if there were any Xenoblade or whatever heads on this podcast that would be like, you need to scale the Bionis and use the Monado to take down the electronic villains. I didn't know if there was going to be like a whole thing.
That's the thing. Like you got to look for like one of those Xenoblade truthers. I feel like. I mean, you got 3 Kingdom Hearts truthers on this podcast, but not a one Xenoblade person, right? Like,
oh my goodness, does that mean that I have to play Xenoblade Chronicles and then report back?
I think so, dude. I think you might have to be our truther.
I think I have to look in the back of a $1 bill and see that Shulk is actually on it.
Yeah, he's the eye at the top of the pyramid.
Oh my god, it all makes sense.
I mean, like, I feel like the gamble with it is like really good. Like as far as like, obviously they're enhancing that game, and like it's like for a lot of people with Xenoblade, it's like they brought it back to what a lot of people like about JRPGs, but I hear for like around for like Matt Simmons from like Yo Video Games or something like that. Like is one of his favorite series because like you don't get games like that as far as like the scale, as far as like how open it is, and like even just the cool thing is about like just like 2 titans fighting against each other and they died, and like that's the world. Like you don't get stuff like that from. Oh, that's a stupid thing to say. You don't get stuff like that, but like you get, like, it's very unique for what it is.
Few and far between,
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big meaty JRPG, and it's one of those things where I've kind of realized with my backlog that I'm okay having a backlog, but I only want to have one backlog game per genre. So usually after a JRPG, so I just finished Dragon Quest, and Xenoblade doesn't come out, I think, until like the end of next month.
Yeah, you got
so
time.
So there's some time there. So I think I might play Guacamelee 2 because that was on sale in the Switch eShop, and then I'll also be playing Mario 3 and Mario World, which are games that I really enjoy. I feel like if in a month I still can't leave my house, then I'm gonna need another large JRPG.
Need that, dude. Hey,
but why that game though? Like, why not Octopath? Why not Tokyo Mirage Sessions? I'm just curious.
No. It's just I think that I could like Xenoblade.
I think so too. I totally get this, dude.
I think that I could like it. Like I think that I liked it, but there was if I remember correctly, I was playing Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS morning, noon, and night, and then I got to a part in that game where I needed to get from point A to point B, and then I fell off of like a platform into some water, and I was like, I don't want to get out of the water. I don't want to spend the time getting out of this water. I've invested 20 hours in my life into this game, but I can't. I think it was because the screen was so small. I think there's something where like it was a grand game, right? Like in a sense of the world is large. The story is epic, and for some reason I don't feel like I experienced it appropriately on the 3DS. That doesn't mean that portable games are less immersive than console games. I don't want to get into that that discussion, especially because I don't necessarily believe that. I think the Golden Sun games are great GBA games, and they're these big epic JRPGs. But I feel like I feel like Xenoblade on the Wii and the 3DS or new Nintendo 3DS were these technical showpieces that I couldn't appreciate on the system that I had played it on originally, and I feel like by playing it on the Switch, I will be able to kind of get into it. I feel like that's kind of the right place for me to play it.
Also, you just like games more on Switch. I know this about you, Brandt.
Yeah, that's true. It's my console of choice. Although, should it come out this year, the Xbox Series X will be the first non-Nintendo console.
They got you, dude.
I will pre-order and I will get on day one.
Is it Game Pass? Is Game Pass what got you?
It's Game Pass, and the fact that it's going to be backwards compatible, and the fact that I think I've expressed this opinion on this show that I think that the DualShock controller is like a crime against humanity.
You haven't expressed this on the show, but you've texted it to me, and I was like, what is that? And you were like, I don't want to talk about it.
I just think that it's like personally
a criminal consumer product, I believe is what you said to me.
Yeah, no, I think that it is electronics malpractice, to put it mildly. I really just think that it's bad. And again, this is it is a beloved controller. I think objectively it is probably really good. I'm just talking about my hands, and my head and my heart just are disgusted every time that I hold it. So
this is so weird to me. I think it's a great controller, so I guess I just don't know. But
no, if you saw the controller the way I saw it, you wouldn't want to be in the same room as it.
Yeah, it's true. I would be disgusted. It's worth noting we haven't asked the most frugal of the IP hosts, which is Scott Guthier.
Yeah, Scott. Before I talk, pop off.
I did, but you didn't respond. You might have been doing something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I did cut out for a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of those things where you would freeze for a minute and we'd call you dead.
Oh, got it. But it was you.
I realized that, I'm dead this time. That's odd.
It happens. I did give you an intro, Scott, so the folks know you're here. But what do you think? Okay. Should Brandt buy Xenoblade Chronicles?
I'm going to the eShop now, by the way. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know that I'm getting into position. Chronicles. It's definitive. It's the definitive edition. It's definitive.
It is definitive.
I would wait,
but yes, please. I
would seriously just wait.
Yeah,
ready for these.
Because if this ends up being anything like the Majora's Mask 3D remake, I
don't think Brandt can hear you, Scott.
I can't.
Can you guys hear Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, do you want to try and drop and then jump back in? That's super weird. This happened to me once before, so. Now try talking, Scott.
Does this work?
Yeah, I hear you now.
There we go. Just go ahead and say what you're saying, Scott.
Okay, I would say wait, because there's always the possibility that this ends up something closer to the Majora's Mask 3D remake than it does. Actually, I don't have a good point of reference for it.
No. But to be fair, you weren't a fan of that remake, Scott, and I like some of it, but I agree with you.
I got my hands on it.
Yeah.
And I noticed some very weird things with that remake.
Okay, what happened?
There was a very slowed down pace with the Majora's Mask 3D remake with just how your character moved.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it broke some of the areas. And they didn't fix it.
Yeah, we talked about this when it came out. You also didn't like how they changed the boss fights.
Right, there's that too.
Right.
So there's always a chance that they do a bunch of, I would say, add a bunch of bells and whistles, but let them rust as they get out to you.
Yeah, and then the Xenoblade truthers are going to come to you, Brandt, and be like, actually, you need to play the Wii version of this game.
So on the fence. I think it's also. I think one of the things that's kind of pushing me over is the fact that I have these. I really only spend my Nintendo Switch Gold points once a year because I try. I generally don't buy games at full price. So right now, the actual price of the game would all out would be $36.26. As opposed to $59.99.
That's not bad.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because this isn't just a port.
No, this is like they retextured it and stuff.
And wasn't it also 2 games in one?
They're adding like an epilogue expansion at the end of it, which is all
okay.
new, but it's not
yeah.
true.
So I would say if this was just a port, I would say go buy it.
Right.
But I know that it's not, so I would say just you can't play it any sooner if you buy it now.
Right, of course.
Than if you were to just take a look at what people are saying on day one.
Yeah, I think that I may wait for that determination. I've certainly heard some buzz, and the trailer that I watched, they really did improve the graphics.
Oh yeah, it looks very good.
Certainly over the Wii, but even the new Nintendo 3DS, I think that they threw kind of like a bit of a new coat of paint on it, just so it looked good on that screen. I am probably going to buy this game on day one, but I think that I will wait to see how the reviews kind of shake out.
That is a really good call out though, Scott, of like they might do something here that kind of fiddles with it, that makes it a different experience than what the people that love this game would want you to feel. So
yeah, this is the perfect game for, and Dragon Quest did this. You release a demo and then you can carry over your demo progress into the full game.
Yeah,
because if I could play 5 hours of this game before I had to plunk down the money, because I put 12 hours into the Dragon Quest 11 demo. I got to as high of a level as it would let me.
And then you bought the game.
And then I bought the game and I carried those characters over, and it was, a wonderful time was had for all. All right, my final point, because I've been monopolizing the show, and I apologize for that.
Sorry, we all love you, Brandt, so this is your fun.
And I don't really tweet anymore, but I feel like I had a pretty good one. You cannot buy multiple eShop games at the same time.
Nope.
You have to buy them individually.
It's the same on Xbox as well. Fun fact. It's only on PlayStation that you can add stuff to cart.
And like, I guess Steam or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, I feel like Nintendo should have some sort of Mario Kart that you could put your games in and then check out at once. I feel like that is
you're disgusting. You're disgusting.
I feel like
3
that's
days
some
from now,
sort of
they release an eShop update
Yeah.
where the eShop is to turn into a mall,
It's a
which
mall.
you drive around a cart,
A Mario Kart.
one of those Mario go-karts with a shopping cart in the back, and you have to drive to every game you want to buy.
Yeah, exactly. And
that would
it's
make more
tedious.
sense than having to buy a single game at a time. And I think that I particularly feel this because I only buy games generally during one of the like 2 or 3 really big sales that they have. They always they typically have a huge sale around the holidays and a huge sale around E3, RIP, and they happen to have a big spring sale. So I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I loaded up my eShop cards or whatever, and then I bought Mega Man Definitive Edition or Legacy Collection Volume 1, and then I was like, there are other games on my wish list, but I don't want to just go buy them all individually. It's like a minor inconvenience. Obviously, it's a first world problem, especially given what's going on in the world right now. But Jiminy Christmas, it would be so good to just be able to like tap a little card icon and then check out once. I think it's also annoying because you basically have to add a bunch of funds to your cart if you're doing this, or it's going to ask you to, do you want to just
required amount only?
Yeah, required amount only, and it's just like an extra dialogue box when it's a digital shopping cart. Every online retailer, and I didn't know that the Xbox suffered from this too, but every online retailer has figured out the magic of being able to purchase multiple items at the same time.
Right now. To be fair, Brandt, there are a lot of problems with the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it's like it is weirdly like a URL.
It would save them a lot of money too.
Yeah, it would look better. You'd be able to find anything that's older than a week.
Because every time that you have to charge your card, they have to pay a fee.
Yeah. And if you're doing like, if you want to buy 3 games at once, you're charging your card 3 separate times. Or then you'd have to, like you said, Brandt, go in and like, all right, I'll add $100, but then that wasn't required amount, so now I have to go and charge another $19. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just I have to think that between the fact that they do have to pay a transaction fee per or a separate fee per transaction, and the fact that people will just get annoyed that they can't buy like 8 games at once, they have to be leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. Somebody's getting money, or somebody's leaving money.
Yeah. So that's from Mario Teaches Typing to Dragon Quest to my views on the DualShock controller. I feel like I've laid pretty much all of it on the table. Thank you for participating in my lightning rounds as well. My games. I have one more. Well, excuse me. I have one more point.
Yes.
To make. It's not about video games.
Okay.
And then I will happily
open the floor.
Open the floor. End my filibuster. For the princely sum of $12.99, purchase the domain bestbrandt.com. So I just want the Irrational Passions hosts and audience to know I am the best Brandt.
There are no doubts in my mind. I want you to know that.
I'm the best Brandt. I own the URL. I am the best Brandt.
I went to a middle school with a Brandt, but he didn't have a D in his name, so he's basically worthless. You know
he's dead to me.
Yeah.
The D stands for dead to me.
Is that all you've been playing, Brandt?
Yeah. Just like an hour's worth of
yeah. Now I'm sure what you got.
Please. I was going to ask Brandt something if you wouldn't mind.
Please.
I was just curious, like just to pick your brain a little bit, like why would you get the Xbox Series X instead of just getting a regular Xbox One?
Sure. So I like the idea of, I think it's when they announced that the Series X would be backwards compatible, and that they've had like a really good history of backwards compatibility for 360 and even original Xbox games on the One X. That's kind of my thinking is, because of Gamecast, I can buy the console on day one, play through a gigantic backlog without having to pay full price for a single new game, and then going forward, I have access. I have the ability to play all the Series X games in like the highest possible fidelity, because I haven't owned an Xbox system since like the 360 in 2011 it red ringed, so it's been 9 years of me not playing any Xbox games, and there's a lot of stuff in the backlog, and because I like that controller, I can actually finally play Kingdom Hearts. I have tried to play Kingdom Hearts in the same way that I've tried to play Xenoblade Chronicles. I've tried to play Kingdom Hearts on, I think, 3 separate occasions, and each time I would get so frustrated by the DualShock that I would put it down. So I'm looking forward to actually. I've heard it's a pretty good franchise, and
well, it depends on who you ask.
And I listen. I like a lot of. I'm cool. I'm hip. I want to swing keys around. I want to save the world, and I enjoy the magical world of Disney. That's in and out of my
friendship,
heart.
solving all your problems. Is that your thing?
Yeah, there you go. I want just however you want to do it. I'll take whatever pill I need to take to enter that magical mystical world, but I will not pick up a DualShock controller to do it.
I'm curious because I'm thinking back. I've been going through I went through old pictures of Beyond 300 recently. Remember,
right?
That was the first time I got to hold a DualShock 4. Did you know in that moment that you were full of hatred?
Yeah, because I didn't like the DualShock 2. I didn't like the DualShock 3. What were the chances that this controller that's basically shaped the exact same way as the DualShock 2 and 3 and the original, frankly? I mean, it was refined each generation. I'm not going to try and minimize that. And the fact that they had that big share button on the front of the DualShock 4, I think that was revolutionary, and I think that everybody should kind of tip their hat to Sony for really seeing, in when they were developing in 2011, 2012, seeing that streaming games from a console in a seamless way would be a really big differentiator. I think that's kind of worth noting, but yeah, why would I'm holding a controller. Why would my thumbs go like that? No, my thumbs can go like this. My thumbs don't have to go. I don't want to reach. I don't want Mario teaches DualShock.
All right.
I don't want any of my focus while I'm playing a game to be like, this controller is not giving me the best possible experience. I think the 360 controller was great. I think the Xbox One controller was excellent, and I'm a gigantic fan of the Switch Pro controller. Basically, any controller that looks like that controller,
offset dual sticks. I got
is it's the offset. That's what it is. I think that the DualShock 5 looks interesting. The DualSense, whatever, but it still has the fact that both of the sticks are down there. To me, is just, it's infuriating.
Okay.
I would say as a suggestion.
Sure, go on.
As a friend.
As a friend.
I would wait and because I feel like this year, unless you want physical media, like the Xbox All Digital Edition, the sad version is probably gonna be like $100 or $150 at least this year. And I would say to get that version because obviously, because you're playing the Switch, fidelity is not the biggest thing for you.
Sure.
So I would say all the Xbox One games are going to be backwards compatible with or they're going to have a version of a Series X version on the Xbox One version for at least 2 years. So sure. I feel doing that is more of a better thing for your investment. So you can still have Game Pass, you can still have your backwards compatibility, you can still even have the new games, and you'll have a very cheaper console at that at the price.
You can see if you like it at the very least,
Well, I'm sure he'll like it, but I'm just saying investing $500, potentially or even more on a new system. I would say just you still got something good here, and you're still gonna get support for at least another 2 or 3 years. So
that is an excellent point. And I think I saw the Xbox One X was heavily discounted.
Yeah, it was $250 a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, it was something like $250, and that's definitely not something to sneeze at. Again, we'll see if the consoles come out this year.
Yeah. That's the bigger question mark, right?
For instance, but I definitely, I will take that under consideration. But if I am going to buy a next generation console, it's definitely going to be it'll certainly be the
Series X.
The Series X, especially if they have some sort of really cool, interesting Game Pass games on day one. I just think I like Game Pass. Frankly, I just think that is such a wonderful tool for people like me who may not, play the latest and greatest, or who have been lapsed Xbox gamers, to be able to play really good games.
For sure. I think that's the system seller or the thing that will get people in, and that's what people should get in with Game Pass.
Yeah.
I just don't think $500 is the thing to get in with. That was my biggest complaint about the All Digital Edition last year. It's that should have been $100, because if it had been $100, you would kill for that. People would kill for that. It just makes sense. You'll get Game Pass with it. Everybody will buy that shit. Why not?
Yeah. Why not give it a shot? It's essentially the cost of a Roku box,
Yeah, it's so good. It's like the price. Annually? It's about the price of a new game now, isn't it?
It's $10 a month, so $120 a year if you.
All right, two games a year.
Yeah, for roughly 200. So yeah, totally. Game Pass is having been on it for months and months now. It's just the best. Is that all you've been playing, Brandt?
That is all. Those are all of my takes, both good and bad.
Who's your favorite Dragon Quest XI character?
Ooh, boy, how far have you gotten into that game?
This isn't for me. This is for Nobishin, who's finished it. So.
I have not finished it.
Well, you finished the original, didn't you?
I have not finished the original.
Oh, you didn't? I didn't know that.
No.
You seen all the
I got on a boat. I stopped. I still love that game. Like I said, it's potentially one of my favorite games ever. I just have to make the time for it. That's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, it definitely it repays. It pays you back. My favorite character in that game. I like a whole bunch of them. You know what? I think I just think Sylvando is an interesting.
That's the right choice.
I think Sylvando is an interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you,
I set him up, you knock him down, Brandt.
This
you
is
made me proud.
This is how
No spoilers, please.
No, but this is how paranoid I was. I was very skeptical about that character when he joined the party. So I thought there was I didn't know where this was gonna go. So I purposefully I unequipped all of his equipment, and I didn't use any of his skill points for like 30 hours. Because I'm like, I've played Japanese role-playing games before.
You're going to betray me, sir.
Yeah. I understand that there's going to be a turn. And then when like the EDM drop happened, I was like, oh, all right, yeah, you can have like a knife or whatever. Go for it. Like knock yourself out.
and then you got to warm up to him. That's all.
Yeah, I got bigger fish to fry.
I played some video games, which I didn't play many, so I figure I can burn through these real quick. I moved this week, and I've been in that mode of focus. Like I've been having trouble like getting comfortable. You know, it's one of those things where I'm like still kind of breaking in where I want everything to be and like where do I want to sit here while I play video game. Like I haven't been able to sit down and just like 8 hours deep into something since I moved, and like that's my preferred way of playing. But it's just like trying to find a spot to get comfortable to do that, and also having all the other stuff to stress about. But like over the last, my hope is, because I had to work a little bit throughout the week, but my hope is that through the weekend, now that I have no other obligations, I can kind of just strap in and play stuff for hours and hours straight, that I can just do that and not have to stress, because it's been really stressing me out not being able to get comfortable and play video games. I don't know if any of you guys have this, but where it's just like my neck hurts, or like I can't sit down for very long, and I'm just like readjusting myself, and I can't like kind of zone out. Because of that, I've been in like I've been in like a semi-funk with video games on and off, I think, since December, and it's been like destroying my mental focus a little bit, but like to the point where I like when I sit down to play something, I have to like turn off my phone, turn off my computer, and like if I don't do this, I'm gonna get too distracted or whatever. So I've been just playing a bunch of random garbage, and I've not really sat and played anything this week. But of the things that I played, I went to a Travis Scott concert in Fortnite just before we sat down and recorded this podcast. The last one of those was today at 6 p.m. Scott, Tony, did you guys hear about this?
I knew of it, but did not partake.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a huge Travis Scott guy. I guess there was like a Marshmello concert in Fortnite before that was pretty lame, it sounds like. More like just people just sitting and watching a figure in the game just do a DJ in front of a stage. This was like, if you've not heard of this, and I don't think there was any like marketing before this week about it. It has like a whole name and everything, but I forget the name of it. But essentially, at certain times throughout the week, if you were playing Battle Royale and you loaded into one of these time slots, it would like non-combat the whole level, and you would go to a location in the map, and then a concert happens. Travis Scott shows up, big CG Fortnite-ified Travis Scott, like literally Jolly Green Giant. I'm talking like a skyscraper-sized Travis Scott, just stomping and crushing around the Fortnite map, and like just his music's playing. I think there was like 3 or 4 songs that played. I don't know any of them. I'm not hip. But he would stomp around, and he would go in different outfits, and then one point you're underwater, one point you're flying through space, like looking at the beginning of the universe. It was really cool. Like, the idea was like almost an EDM visualizer type deal in Fortnite, but you kind of had the agency to walk around and I was there with Moises Tavares, formerly of OK Beast, and George Cruz of IP. It's just the 3 of us like playing on PS4, just running around, and it was just like very cool. It was a cool. The idea of like concerts in video games, I think, has always been very rad to me, and not a lot of times where I've seen it executed, and not a lot of times where it was like, oh, this is kind of in my wheelhouse, right? Like I'm not a fan of Travis Scott in particular, but I like hip hop, and it was seeing like the Twitter videos and stuff of like this seems like the trippy, weird, out there style that I'm into. It totally is. So if it's over now, which is a bummer, so I imagine they might do some again though, because like I said, this kind of happened, I think, for the first time on Wednesday, and then just like they did it for these 4 days, and now it's over. And it was like such a cool visual thing to see that I just hope more people get the chance to see it. But it was
Where was Roger during this?
Roger was busy, so he could not make it. But I texted him about it, and he said he was sorry that he couldn't be there, but he thought it looked really, really cool. Yeah, just like as like a hip hop thing, and as like a music thing, and as a video games thing, I thought this was just legitimately very cool. Like, it didn't seem hokey or lame when I was in it, and you're running around the Fortnite world, and it's like cool, like disco laser lights are like coming out of your character and coming out of this giant Travis Scott that's just like literally thundering around the map. It was over the top and cool. And I hope they do more stuff like that. And so, like, I've heard obviously about all of the crazy things that have happened in Fortnite of like, we're going to do like real-time events and not tell people about them just to surprise them, like the giant mech fighting a giant kaiju in the middle of a match, the end of the world that happened where like a meteor came and evaporated everything, and then it ended, right? Like, all this cool stuff. It was cool to finally be able to see one of those moments that was a little bit more tame, I would say, but still very, very cool to see. So I want to give that props. I don't give a shit about Fortnite, but I think if they keep doing stuff like that, I will at the very least show up for stuff like that. It is weird that it still says early access when you boot that game up, and it also, as soon as you boot it up, it just tells you to buy the battle pass, even though you don't have to. But video games. I also played, speaking of trippy games, played Tetris Effect when I'm very depressed. That is a great game to just play, even if I'm not as good as Tetris as I was in 2018. But that is a beautiful, delightful visualizer of a video game. I played other randoms. Like I've been playing a lot of Spelunky, because that's like a game I can play for 30 minutes and then like not play and beat it. I beat it once this week. As just like another, as completion number 74 or whatever in that game, but still just like a very good, if I need something to kind of focus my hands in the background, that's a good thing to like listen to music and play. I played some Tales of Vesperia. I played some Tales of Xillia, of like, is there an RPG that maybe I can get into? I finished Persona 5 Royal for the second time. I've been kind of putting off, since Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I've been putting off that New Game Plus, like finishing it and seeing the ending. Just sobbed through the last 2 hours of that game, but great game. Very good. Highly recommended. That I was gonna say, Brandt, if you were like looking for just an RPG, I know you have to use a DualShock to play that one, but I would put Persona 5 in front of you and just be like, maybe give it a shot. But I don't know if that's particularly your speed.
I would play it why not just make a Bluetooth controller that's not the DualShock compatible?
It's true. I think you can plug in like a PC controller and it'll work. But
wired. It's
not the ideal way to do it.
Steam controller, bro.
Yeah. I'll send you the Steam controller. I'm supposed to send an option.
There. I like this. Let me use the Switch Pro controller. It's all Bluetooth. Come on, it's all live in harmony.
Have you tried plugging it in and seeing if that works?
I haven't.
I would try it, man.
I'm
curious now.
Listen. I got time. I got things to do.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
We talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake last episode. I haven't kind of gone back to it. I would like to at some point, but I given it a little space, just because that was like one of those games that like takes a lot out of you emotionally. Nobshin gets me. You all don't have to. But I'm just kidding. That was like it was a Kingdom Hearts 3 moment for you, Nobshin, for me, of like, well, what do I do now? Like, where do I go now? Do I replay Persona 5 again? I'm still thinking about it, so maybe we'll know by next week. Once I can actually get comfortable and play something here. But I bought some games. I bought the Persona dancing games. I bought all of them. I bought the Nonary games on PS4. I bought all of them, so I wouldn't have to worry about that later. And that I think that might be the next thing I do is finish 999. But then I will move on. Is it Virtue's Last Reward is the one after that, or is it
Virtue's Last Reward?
Okay. Because that's the one I bought. Because it was very confusing. They have like the Nonary games as a bundle on the PSN, and I think that's 999 and the third one?
No.
Okay. They might
just the first two, and the third one is Zero Time Dilemma, which is this one by itself.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, the second and third name I get confused a lot. But yeah, I've just been all over the place. I have no idea what to play right now. So I'm in a similar boat of like Xenoblade Chronicles is appealing just because like that's a big dense game. I could kind of like know I have something to occupy myself with for a very long time. But also, I don't know if I'd like that game. So I need you to report back, Brandt. That's what it comes down to. Scotty, what about you, man?
Nothing too new. I said the last week that I would talk about Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I didn't play it this week.
Oh, okay.
So my thoughts on that are gonna have to wait till another time because it's just gonna be jumbled.
Fair enough. Have you played any more Deceit?
No. That was like a one-time thing from last week.
Okay, that was a one and done. So it was a cool to hear about it though. Did you play any of Deceit with them?
That's like a full group thing. You need 6 people, so we haven't had that size of group down.
Sure, it's free to play now though, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anything else, Scott?
Not really. Been on. Still doing Animal Crossing. Still doing League. That's basically it.
Cool. It's worth mentioning.
I guess I have kind of put this off to the side, but I am still doing Satisfactory with Greg.
Okay, cool. Well. Do you guys have your own like factory thing that you're making now?
Yep.
Cool. It is worth noting the Earth Day event started in Animal Crossing this week, which is cool. The Leaf, the sloth guy, shows up and he sells bushes now. So I planted a whole bunch of bushes in my town. I'm like way more.
Have you met Red the Fox yet?
Oh, I met Red the Fox, Mr. Shady Business.
Have you gotten his art piece yet?
So I got the one that he gives you just for free. Or not for free, that he charges you for, but and then I gave that to Blathers, and he's expanding the museum. So I guess that's happening today, and that'll be expanded tomorrow, which is cool. I'm excited to see the museum change it all. But Red hasn't shown up where I can like go into his little island, his little boat shop yet. I've seen his boat in the shady beach. He like appears at the back of the island.
Oh. You missed him then, because that same day you can talk to him and do it.
So I talked to him because he was just walking around, and I got it. But yeah, I couldn't go inside the boat. It would say like I shouldn't go in if no one's here. So yeah, I might have.
That's weird.
Yeah,
because I was able to talk to him and then go in same day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have missed it.
And so I don't have the painting I bought yet from in there.
Oh, does he like mail it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was confused for a bit.
Yeah.
But he mails it to you.
That's interesting.
I didn't read.
To be fair, that's just some shady business. I'm sure it's supposed to be like that.
Don't know if this is new or not, but you can take a closer look at the paintings.
Mm-hmm. And see which ones are fake, right?
Right.
That is new, I think. Before you just kind of had to eyeball it. So, and what's cool is like you'll be able to collect those and put them in its own museum exhibit too. So, I don't know how deep they're going to get into that stuff.
Well, I think that was in all the games that Red was in. The art section was in there.
Yeah, maybe.
I know that it was for New Leaf.
It's just been a while since I got this into an Animal Crossing. So the fact that like it wasn't there in the museum to begin with, like the art exhibit, and now they're like expanding, adding a whole new section to it is cool. Means they might do stuff like I'm hoping the museum gets like a flower exhibit at some point. You can like donate like rare flower because like certain flowers will only grow in certain environments too. So
I'm missing my coffee guy right about now.
yeah, where's my boy Roost? I think I feel like I heard somebody say that through a data mine there might be a cafe that might be like essentially a seasonal event. Like you'll be able to, it'll be free DLC that they'll patch into the game as the game goes on, and then you'll be able to make the cafe shop, which is really cool. Yeah, but I'm still playing Animal Crossing as well. I'm still having fun. I sold my turnips for 4 million bells this week. So
nice.
I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
I think I haven't had a big haul like that quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically it's just been I just pick up 2 or 3 inventories full, and I generally make out positive.
Okay.
Just not that positive.
I mean,
I haven't. It's weird. I haven't had one of the spike patterns yet, and I also haven't had the permanent decrease pattern yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a spike at all in my town, which is so I've been having to use Reddit to go and find other people to sell turnips to. This one was like the reason it was so much. I had 2 full inventories basically of turnips, and I'll tell you, like if you just queue up or DM somebody on the Reddit and wait while you're on like a work conference call, that's like perfect background material for like, yeah, I'm just waiting to sell my turnips. So I talk about all this work stuff, I guess. But yeah, that's been helping me pass the time in that. So I have my house is fully expanded now. I just have to pay off the last loan, and then I will be free from Tom Nook's claws. Cool. Anything else, Scott?
Not really. We covered all the bases.
We should, Scott, you should hit me up this week and we should do a little island tour. I'd like to see how you've updated your island. My island looks dope now. I'm very proud of it. We did a stream.
Mine looks like a mess.
Excellent. We did a stream.
I'm still in the middle of
of remodeling.
I'm still in the middle of remodeling it.
Yeah, we did a stream this past week of island tours and just like updating what we've done now that we've gotten like landscaping and stuff. And I got an island tour from Joey Noel from Kind of Funny, and she has a very, very nice, much nicer than mine. Cool.
It's almost as if she had the game longer.
It's true, but she was talking about
also she's a pro, so
yeah, she is a pro.
Talking shit.
She was talking about how bummed she was when everybody caught up to her so quickly. She was like, I thought I was gonna have a nice head start, and everyone was like way ahead of me before like
man.
Yeah. I bet.
Well, yeah. What people are doing is they're just jumping the clock.
True. Yeah, but also like some of the islands that you can see in that game are buck wild, like fully industrial islands.
Yeah, but that doesn't. You're a good chunk of what you can do to your island is how much you can buy from Nook Shop to add to your catalog to push on through.
Yeah.
So that is really where a lot of the times the advantage comes in.
Yeah.
Especially for decorations.
I want to believe that there are people out there that are just like, they have a group of friends that are like all going to each other's shops, all trading stuff as well. So.
You can kind of do that, but you kind of can't.
Yeah, you can't get everything, certainly.
I believe in order for it to be added to the... Actually, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think
maybe it does work, but everybody would have to pick up, drop the item, and I think dump it into their storage.
I think people do that. So,
well, it's once you buy an item from the top rack of Nook Shelf, it's just sold out.
Yeah, so
you can only do a limited one that are the unlimiteds.
Yeah, or rebuying it through your catalog and sending it to all your friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, video games, my friend.
Video games.
What you got?
So I picked up a cute little title called Persona.
Yes. The people don't know. If they follow me on Twitter, they know. But we've officially got our Persona 5 Royal text thread going. You mean option? I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah, where I just inundate you guys with random shit.
We call it Tony's catch-up corner, where Tony catches up about how good video games are. Yeah. Where are you at in Persona 5 Royal, man?
So I'm like 30 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the space between Palace 2 and 3.
Okay.
It's like I'm in the month where shit starts to change from the original one.
Okay. There's a little bit of that everywhere, though.
Yeah, but the new area is introduced at that point, and a bunch of other stuff happens, and you actually start, there's new events in that month, and you actually start hanging out with, more than just like a couple of times with the newer confidants that are available. So yeah, it's been really cool. Kind of just taking it as I go through that, and I've done a lot of like grinding and stuff because I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, which I didn't do the first time I played through Persona 5. So yeah, I was spending a lot of time in palaces, or in mementos, keeping ahead of the curve. So that's why I was like, when I went to go, when I went to this new area, I was like, man, thank God I saved all this fucking clothes that I got.
Yeah, I can sell this for a little pretty penny.
Yeah, right?
It's cool. Like, and I found myself grinding, and I didn't play on. Nabishin, are you still playing on hard difficulty?
No. Like I said, that was what I was doing. I was enjoying it a lot, but like, it made Kamoshida's pals take way too long. Like, it took me like maybe over like 15 hours to get past that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll just put it down to normal now. Like, it was still fun though, but like, it was just like too much at that point. I mean, I could do it now because like I got my groove down and I got the stuff that I need to like, normal. It's not easy, but it's like it's doable.
That's like I always like the difficulty curve of Persona games on normal. I think they have a good curve for at least like my RPG skill levels. Like I'm not that great, but I think more so in Royal, like, and I'm sure, we'll have our debrief at the end of all this, but more so I enjoyed grinding and stuff in Royal a lot more. And they've got like the stickers that you get in Mementos that kind of
I just recently ran into those.
It feeds into grinding because at some point you're gonna have to go back through levels to get some of those. So the systems like complement each other just as well as you would want like the social link system or the confidant system to complement upgrading your personas. It's like, oh, okay, like this also makes sense. So yeah, I think it's very well suited for that, and it's been cool. Like hearing you guys talk about that like makes me want to go back and try it on hard mode. Just especially now that I've gotten my feet wet and I've completed the compendium and all that. I've like seen all the things that I would want to see. Like now it'd be fun to play through that game on like a really tough challenge.
Yeah, and like I think that Royal is a lot more approachable to play on the hardest difficulty than the original one too, especially once you get to the point in the game after the second palace where you're kind of getting into mementos for real for the first time to actually go and do. Because I didn't know until I was about to leave for the first time I was in there forever grinding, that when you move to a certain floor, it can be a different kind of floor.
Yep.
Have some sort of quirk.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like sitting there grinding out money because I knew I was gonna need, I gotta buy those freaking health drinks every week. So
yeah,
you need to have the cash rolling.
Gotta get that melon pan, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So is that I need SP adhesives. So I had a lot of money that I needed to grind, and I was doing a bunch of that, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is enough for right now. I'm gonna wait until I'll get get me through the next palace or whatever until I decide to come back into mementos. And at that point, I'll have more requests. I'll be able to go further down, which will increase the amount of money earned, from each battle. And then as I'm leaving, I come across this level that's literally just it's pitch black, and there are regents all over the place.
Yep. One of those dark floors, dude. That's so clutch.
Yeah, and that's when I texted you guys. I was like, man, thank God I picked up a Shisa in the first palace and have been holding on to it the whole.
Yeah.
which is an early source of nuclear damage, which is what the regents are weak to. So it's just literally, if you have that ability, you can just instant kill all of them. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, and like another like just a clever way that Royal and Persona 5 in general like introduces its new mechanics is like when in Madarame's palace, the second palace, and a friend of mine, Drew, pointed this out to me of like the room right before you meet the first regent, and they kind of explain how treasure demons work. There's a chest where you get the Frey ring, which is like a new type of item in Royal, where it's like you can equip an item that lets any of your party members do a spell. So like they do a great job of introducing those things right when you need them, and it's like, oh, okay, these systems tying together. This item is important. I should use items like this.
Those are really cool. I really liked like the expansions to the palaces to include like the will seeds and stuff. Those are really fun to go. It's been pretty much everything that they've added to the game has specifically made it better and not worse.
Yep,
which is awesome.
I was gonna ask and open this up to you as well, Nabishin, just because. So like I had played Persona 4. I had not finished it, but I played 80% of that game before I played Golden. So I like really knew what was different, and it was 2009 to 2013, so it had been 4 years between the two, but I had that kind of experience of like, I've played through this before, but now this is different and better and new. Was it weird for you guys at all, having played 5 and now playing Royal? Because this was like, it was very fresh for me. I played through the original 5 last year, and I played through Royal, and I thought it would be weird, but it really wasn't. Like, I was like cool with it in a way that I didn't think I would.
It's like playing it for the first time again for me.
Okay.
Like this is only my third time going through a Persona 5 version of the game, and like it still feels everything still feels fresh and new, and like even though I know generally what to do, like it still feels like, you know, like anything could pop up still. And I love it for that. I mean, obviously because like there's still the new stuff, but like even when I played it, what was it? Maybe like 8 months after not 8 months, maybe like 6 months after I beat it the first time. Like things still surprise me. Still things just like still fresh and new, and like you know, it was still just great.
Yeah. What about you, Tony?
Yeah, well, for me, I played it, you know, obviously when it came out like 3 years ago. And that was, you know, the full experience there. And then I experienced it in audio form only about 4 months ago from start to finish, 100, which I don't regret. That was really great, and it was a lot of entertainment while I was working.
I think that stuff's cool, and I was curious, Tony, just because it's fresh for you as well. Like, I think it's cool to be able to notice like when scenes are rewritten, because there are a lot of those. So it feels like there's a lot of fresh just stuff all the time in the game. So
yeah, there's a lot of it there for sure, and you know, coming through it the second time, and I was just listening to it, it was just an audio experience, and it was one that I didn't have a say in as far as the decisions that were made. So it was more just like being told a story there rather than being part of it. And now playing again in Royal, it's like basically like, you know, you're playing the extended director's cut of something that you had heard before. You know, so I do get to, you know, there's a lot of that stuff, and a lot of the things that all the new stuff just instantly sticks out to me as like new things that have been added, because I've already, you know, pretty recently heard a lot of the confidants stuff. So especially near the beginning of the game, I did find myself skipping a lot of the vanilla stuff. Just, you know, fast forwarding through some of the, you know, more early on dialogue stuff, because, you know, I've watched several YouTubers play the beginning of Persona just to see, you know, how other people react to the game. So I've seen all those scenes like 15 times. So a lot of that stuff I did skip through, but I'm doing it less and less as I get farther into the game, because really at this point forward into the game, I've only heard it once and played it once before, and you know, I'm constantly like seeing new things that have been changed, updated, or added. And you know, I'm honestly kind of playing the game a bit differently now than I did the first time, because I spent a lot more time doing palaces, and I've kind of optimized a lot of what I do every day because I know what's available. so I spend less time doing non social link increasing, spending time with the confidants and more getting to everybody, and them adding an extra dialogue option at the end of every single social link.
Super great. I love that.
There's a lot of really good stuff in there. So it definitely does feel fresh, even though I've played it once and heard it recently.
Yeah, I was just curious about it because, like, for me, it really also felt really brand new, and it felt like I was playing Persona 5 for the first time again, and not in a way that made that last experience worse. It was just like, this is new again, and I'm loving it again. So yeah, I was curious. Is that all you've been playing, Tony?
No, I've been playing some other stuff. I'm hitting strong on the 7 Deadly Sins grind. We're still progressing, grinding every day. It's pretty cool. It's top 4 guild. The like higher version of with more people that are spending thousands of dollars on the game than in our guild.
That's awesome.
They're top 1.
Wow.
But our guild, none of us spending that much money at all. Most of us are free to play in our guild, and we're top number 4. So
representing the grinders out there, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's why you guys see on my Discord, playing this game for like 4 to 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's just there all the time grinding.
Yes.
So,
that was the Android emulator, Nobishin. We found the solution.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm playing a lot of League of Legends. In the times that I'm not playing Persona, I've been playing a lot of League. It's kind of the same stuff as it always is. So nothing super important, but it does exist. It's still a video game. The servers haven't gone down yet.
Sure.
I don't think that they will.
Well, you see, it's questionable if they will or not.
Okay.
They've been having a lot of problems.
Oh, is it because so many people are playing right now?
That plus, people aren't necessarily in there, working on the game right now. So I guess I don't want to assume, but I guess like some of the maintenance stuff isn't really getting done as much as it would normally. So the server definitely shows some wear and tear because of it.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that going on, and definitely also because there are a lot more people at home playing video games. That is definitely something that wears on it all. So,
gotcha. Cool. I'm thinking like maybe Valorant has something to do with it too. If they're using the similar resource list of like, hey, Riot's only got so many goddamn servers. But I don't know. Tony, you weren't here last week. Do you have any interest in Valorant?
So okay, well, sure, I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
I got.
Sure.
Yeah, I did. Let me fucking force your hand, all right? Like.
I got a key for it yesterday.
Whoa.
And I'm never installing that game on my system because I very vehemently disagree with the amount of access that they force their anti-cheat to have to my and the fact that it runs 24/7 when it's installed in your computer. So,
no, thank you. That is some shady business right there.
Yep. Even though it's Riot, sorry, bud, you're not getting on my computer with that garbage.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's, I guess, like the anti-cheat stuff makes sense, but that's a pretty big trade-off for PC players. It seems like a lot of people who aren't normally into PC games are playing this too, so maybe that's why I haven't heard as many people talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like nothing against the game. It's a cool. I'm not super into keyboard mouse shooters, but I would try it. It's just that I can't get behind installing an anti-cheat on my system that's going to run literally 24/7 while the system is on and runs in ring 0, which is the highest possible admin level access that a program can have to your system.
Good to know.
Yeah, basically,
hard
long story short, for people who don't know what that can do, that can edit your core operating system.
That's not good.
So, for a Mac user, it has access that you never will have.
Yeah, it's stuff that you just can't do.
For a Windows user, it can just change your registry keys at a whim.
That's not cool. I mean, not that I assume it would do that, but like, I feel like that...
It doesn't matter if it can or if it can't. Most of those programs are targeted to be compromised.
So assuming somebody
that is why
Valorant.
that is why next to no program runs in that range.
Mm-hmm. I get you. Is there like a reasonable program that does run in that range? Your operating system, I guess, probably.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay. Is that all you got, Tony?
Well, as far as Valorant goes, yes.
Yes. Any other games?
No. I'm not playing Animal Crossing anymore. I just figured I'd mention that.
Mm-hmm.
What is 7DS or whatever the hell that thing is?
7 Deadly Sins.
That's
Okay.
the Android emulator.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's take a quick break because we might have to solve some audio issues that are happening, but we'll take care of that. And when we come back, Nabashin, I'm gonna grill you for your games, and then we'll get on out of here. So
I won't have anything.
Okay, well I'll grill you regardless. So
we'll ask you deeply personal questions.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because you don't have any games, you're getting well done.
Yeah, you're getting well done, dude.
I mean, I got something, so don't worry about it.
Okay. We will be back in just a little bit.
do this funky thing.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's video games. Nobishin, what you got, man? What you been playing?
Just Persona 5 Royal. That's it.
Consuming your every aspect of your being. I appreciate the text updates. I hope my responses have been acceptable. If I have something to say, I'll say it. If I don't, I'll just give you the like to let you know I appreciate it. Anything else? You said
literally nothing else. Because I figure like after this, I'll more or less jump into Final Fantasy 7. Like I'll probably need like a day or two to like get over me not being able to play Persona 5 anymore.
Yeah.
But like
or just start playing it again. It's okay if you do that. I just want you to know.
There's no way I could do that. That like I as much as I love it and as much as I love it taking over my life, it's literally taking over my life. And like I need to do other things. I need to like clean a little bit more or something. But like I'm just spending all my time doing that. So like that's just like a thing I just need to
at the end of my what'd you say, Scott?
Be over and done with.
Yeah.
Put behind you.
Like what I'll say, to be fair, like
or maybe next to you, just in case.
when I like went back again, the second playthrough of Persona 5 Royal was a little less all encompassing. But my final, like when I resaved after finishing New Game Plus, it was my clear save was 258 hours, which is the most I've ever played a video game back to back ever. I've never like been as unable to put down a game as I have Persona 5 Royal, period. Which I don't know. It's like I love single player games, and if there was gonna be a game like that hooked me, it would be one. But it was really special to see like that game like really, like I did not want to stop playing it, and like to the point where like when I went through, I did everything that I missed. Like I wanted to see all of it. So there's an extra boss that I didn't do, but like generally. I even did like the DLC battles, like a crazy person. So,
but yeah, there's nothing else really for me. After this is pretty much the show, right?
Yeah, we got bets and we got an outro. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. So I wanted to make up. There's two things I want to do. Or no, there's one thing I want to do, but there's two reasons. One, I wanted to make up for like not having much video games to talk about because I don't want to talk about Persona 5 Royal until I'm completely done with it. Then I'll just splooge it all to you, Alex, when I'm done, obviously. And then like
I'm waiting for you, Tony. Splooge me. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm done.
And two, like Kyle Bossman just left EC Allies, so like I wanted to do somewhat of a tribute to him.
Excellent.
I need you to like fill in the blanks for me, Alex. Because like you're the only one who will get these stupid references. But like I wanted to do my own version of War Wars. And I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. The reason is all over you. And the reason is
Wars.
Thank you. You mind explaining Wars real fast because no one knows what the fuck.
So basically, if you've never listened to an episode of the Easy Allies podcast, when they've finished their bets and they have nothing left to do, Bossman will give a proposition. Everyone, we're gonna have to each basically raise our hands to get in this. So I'll go first, just so that way people can kick this off. But Brandt, Scott, Tony, you all are gonna have to go. So just get ready. Nobishin is gonna give us this or that, and we just gotta pick one and choose why. That's it.
What pick between 1 and 6.
1 and 6, me. 3.
All right.
That was an option. It's 1 or 6. It's two things, Alex.
1. I don't know.
So, Alex, the Xbox Series X logo or Sony's robot companion?
The Series X logo, because it looks sick as hell, and I don't trust robots unless I can fucking throw them across the mile. And I have not heard about this robot companion, so I already don't trust him. I don't trust robot companions. I played Fallout 4. I know how this goes.
Who's next?
Brandt raised his hand for audio listeners.
Okay. All right. Between 1 and 6.
4.
All right. One Punch Man live action movie or Venom Let There Be Carnage.
One Punch Man live action starring Jack Black. Just figure it out.
Yes, dude.
I think he could be anyone. If he can be
if he dreams hard enough, Jack Black can be anyone.
Yeah, a misanthropic bald man who can fell a foe with one punch. I think he can do it.
Yes.
There you go.
Who's next?
You guys got to choose.
I'm next.
All right.
Between 1 and 6.
6.
Super Mario Maker 2 Super Mario Maker 2 World Maker Update or Fallout 76 Wastelanders Update.
I'm so glad Scott got this one.
I don't have any context for either of them. I just know that no matter what they do to Fallout 76, it'll never be good.
Mario Maker
so it's like
baby.
the Super Mario Maker, the world update did happen, and now you can just make your own Super Mario games. So that one.
All right.
I like it, Scott.
All right, Tony. 1 and 6.
6.
Oh, but we already did that. Sorry. So like, I guess you got 1, 2, or 4.
1. Other end of the spectrum.
Okay. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse getting delayed or Death Stranding PC port getting delayed.
I'm glad Tony got this one. Is this like the sequel, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel?
That's what I meant. Sorry. Yes.
Gotcha.
The other one.
The delay.
Which delay? The Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Damn. Why?
Why?
Fuck that game. That's why.
That's what I was. That's all I wanted. Do you have any for yourself, Nabishin?
No, that's it.
Okay. Who wins?
So, Brandt, obviously.
Yeah, Brandt had it. Jack Black as One Punch Man is hard to beat.
It's very hard to beat him. He's One Punch Man. That's the conceit of the show, Alex.
All right. It is also Jack Black. Yeah. Shout out to Kyle Bossman, man. If people had not noticed, he is an extreme influence on how I host this very podcast. So, nothing but love for that man. Wherever he goes, whatever he does, I am so excited to see.
I have to close it out.
Yeah. Let's get this out of here. Thanks everybody for.
No, I have. Close out.
Oh yeah, that's. Do you want to wait to the end?
No, we have to do it now.
Yeah, you're right.
And I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. A reason to start over new. And the reason is
Wars. Thank you everybody so much for hanging out throughout this. This is a long podcast. This is the longest one we've done in a minute. If you would like to be a part of the show, you can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. You can send us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees do apply. Or send us an email, mailsack at IrrationalPassions. Or send us an email, mailsack at IrrationalPassions.com. Maybe there'll be a fourth or at some point. If you'd like to follow the show on Twitter, at IrrationalPod is where you do so. There's tons of cool stuff that go up on the website, as well as live streams that we do that we're trying to do more often, videos that we make, articles that we post, and other podcasts that we do, like Raccoon City Radio, etc., etc. You can follow myself and Nabishin on Twitter. I am at Alfighter27. Nabishin is at Nabishin186. Brandt, you're at BRange. if the folks want to get out there and follow you. I saw Tony Horvath tweeting this week, so he gets at Tony Horvath. Go follow him so you can see his sweet nothings that he tweets at NATO Johnston. Follow our video stuff over on YouTube and Twitch. It's just Irrational Passions. You can search us there. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com is the place to be. We've reached the end of the show, which means we're not done. We got one segment left. It's time, Brandt. It's time for bets, dude. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're a little bit of a wild card here, Brandt. We don't have a team for you. So I'm just going to ask you at the end of the bet here, once we kind of, it's all said and done, what team you want to be on, and I'll let you have it. Sure. Let's start with this week's bet. In the top 8 reviews, the most positive 8 reviews on OpenCritic.com for Gears Tactics, how many times will I see a reference to XCOM or the Enemy Unknown series? Really, I'm just looking for XCOM uses. And I'm talking like each reference, every single, if there's 4 in a review, that counts for 4. If there's none in all 8 reviews, that counts for 0.
What are we talking about as far as reference? Just saying
XCOM. Referencing XCOM, or the reason I put Enemy Unknown there is just if they refer to it as Enemy Unknown versus XCOM.
So if they said like, what is it? No medic, all heavies. That's not a reference.
You know what? If that is if that is in a review, Nabashin, I will fucking count it. If they say Scott Guthier is the only sniper worth having in your squad in a review, it counts. Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm looking for explicit references. Probably just the use of the name though. You got a number in your head, Nabashin? You want to kick us off?
Like 3. How many reviews?
8 reviews. Top 8 reviews.
16.
16. I like that. I'm gonna say 10. Brandt?
6.
6. I like it. Faith in the reviewers. Less than 1 per review is hope, and I like it. Tony?
12.
Scotty?
Can you repeat the bet one more time?
Sure. In the top 8 reviews for Gears Tactics on OpenCritic, how many times will I see reference to XCOM or the Enemy Unknown reboot series?
Okay, because I thought I heard that, but then I heard the name, the segment with my name in it.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Huh?"
No, I doubt we'll see that. But it would be great if we did.
This is how many reviews are we looking up?
8 reviews.
8.
All right. I like it. Last week's bet. This time next week, how many Twitch viewers will Valorant have? Tony, I don't know if you're cheating and looking ahead, but if you want to throw a number in here, we can add it.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Last week's bet. This time next week, how many Twitch viewers will Valorant have?
God, how many do they have now?
Well, that's the point. You have to guess that without looking right now.
Wait, you're saying, so you want me to guess what they have next week by what they?
I mean, right now.
This
was last week's bet.
This is last week's bet.
Oh, that's why I was confused. I was like, betting for
sorry, I should have explained it better. You're good. Do you want to throw a guess out there though?
250,000.
250. I'm cool with that in a late addition here. So I had said 600,000. Nabashin said 450,000. Scott said 230,000. Tony, you said 250,000. George said 400,000. The real number is 351,000, which means George got it. Yeah, still a lot of people watching that game right now. Although I appreciate that we had a good spread. George was the closest. George was on your team, Nabashin.
Although I do understand why, which I didn't pick up on last time.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get a Valorant key just offhandedly,
you have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah. I completely missed last time.
Yep. So that brings the team totals. I have 3 points. Nabishin, you have 4 points. You are now officially in the lead. Scott has 1 point. Tony has 3 points. Brandt, now you know the standings. What team? Who? If you get this bet, who do you want the point to go to? You get to choose, my friend. Scott's the underdog.
Do the teams have names?
They don't have names. We basically we're all betting individually, and then anyone that kind of comes on, they're gonna bet with someone.
I'll bet with you, Alex.
All right.
Real quick, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a fantasy critic update?
Oh yeah, that's actually a great. I was thought about doing one recently, but like when all those games got delayed and whatnot. Let's fantasycritic.game, fantasycritic.games plural. There we go. If you are unfamiliar, we're doing our review fantasy league through here. Sorry, Brandt, you're getting all the updates on all of our shenanigans.
That's perfectly fine.
So as an update for the Irrational Passions Podcast Fantasy League, Organization 13, Nabishin's team has 71 points. The Nilfgaardian Army, my team, has -6 points. Shout out. Tony, Tony's team has 10 points. And the Sheikah Research Division, Scott's team, has 59 points.
Jeez. Oh.
Literally, Scott has had nothing but fucking bangers, and it's so ridiculous. Although you're still in the lead, Nabishin, so Scott.
Yeah, that's because I've been adding games. Scott's like original games have been like killing it.
Yeah, so Scott, you got 20 points on Animal Crossing, you got 19 points on Doom, you got 20 points on Ori. So rolling in it. The thing that hurt Tony was Warcraft 3 Reforged, but to be fair, no one could really anticipate the one.
And Half-Life Alex, my God.
Both of those games. One, Half-Life Alex should not have reviews as high as it does.
Well, Half-Life Alex. Oh, that's your counter pick. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why.
And I tried to drop Warcraft when people started trolling the reviews for it.
Yes.
But it wouldn't let me do it, so I can't take credit for that either.
Yeah, I had counterpicked Neo 2, which got an 85, so that hurt. I was -15 points in the hole because I thought that game was going to be bad. I guess I was wrong. And then, Nabishin, you got some extra points from that Bayonetta and Vanquished Anniversary Bundle, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, you had Half-Life Alex, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, to be fair, did not go as high as we thought it would, but still did very well.
Cowards.
Fucking love you, dude. That is your Fantasy Critic update. So Nabishin's still in the lead. Scott, not far behind. Gonna be a weird one, fellas. I don't know how this one's gonna play out, to be honest. We might be picking up a whole bunch of indie games as the year goes along. So that is the show. Brandt, thanks so much for coming on, man. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and I apologize for monopolizing what I feel like is a third of the episode.
No, please. We all love you, and we all appreciate getting updates. So,
well, thank you so much.
And it was a platform for us to have weird conversations. That's the best part about podcasting. Thank you everybody for tuning in, for hanging out, for listening. We appreciate you very much. Apologies about last week's podcast. It was the first time we haven't technically been live for a show in many years. And I didn't really realize that it wasn't broadcasting at the time, but the video version is up now if you missed it, or if you were trying to watch, it is now available to you, so everyone can go tune in, hear my full Final Fantasy VII thoughts. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World Is Saved. Love that dude. Go check it out. He just shared his next song with me. It's not quite done yet, but I'm very excited for everybody to hear it. It's very sweet. And thank you everybody so much. I hope everyone's okay. And if you're not okay, that is also okay. We love you regardless. So, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me as always. Thank you, Brandt, for joining us this week. I love you, boys. Big hugs all the way around. I've been Alex O'Neill, your host. Play your games, stay rational. We will talk to you all next week. One more thing, baby. It's titles time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Brandt's like, oh, God, what did I say weird this week?
Yeah, kind of.
So we got
I forget. It's not that I forget it's recorded. I forget that it's being scrutinized.
So we got Mario Shopping Cart.
Oh, boy.
I Am the Best Brandt. I will not pick up the DualShock controller.
Yes, I agree, Scott.
Tony's catch-up corner.
I will not pick up the DualShock is so funny to me, dude. Oh, it's so good. What do you like, Brandt?
Said, because you probably missed it earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think the DualShock controller is why you don't like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, there might be other reasons.
No, it's because I haven't gotten like too far into that game. I find that controller really frustrating. I like action RPGs. I enjoy Square. I like Disney. Like it's all the things that I like.
Yeah. I mean, even still, Kingdom Hearts is a hard sell.
I don't know. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
1 and 2, not that hard of a sell.
Okay. It's just the weird
Chain
story.
of Memories a bit.
Yeah.
But if we can give him the original GBA version, I'm pretty sure he'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get you that GBA, baby. I'm just saying they got to put it out on
if
Switch.
you have to play the 3D version of Chain of Memories, there's versions that you can watch.
Yeah, just watch the movie. You'll be watching half of your Kingdom Hearts experience. What do you like, Brandt? What do you want the title to be?
I mean, it can't be Best Brandt. Because that's I feel like that's a character attack. I will not pick up the DualShock. I mean, it's saucy.
It is saucy. I like a hot take in the title.
So I'll go for that.
What do you like?
I'm fine with that.
Tony?
Cool with me.
All right, Scott, are you cool with it as well?
Yep. Although I will like to say,
yeah,
if we had that Mario Kart eShop going down, I'm telling you, the first thing that's going to happen is a speed run to having all the games checked out.
Yeah, what's the fastest route to go through this virtual mall and have all the games in your cart?
Yeah, all right. I mean, I have enough time to do like a little Photoshop job on that.
Yeah, I think that's probably worth it. All right, Brandt, I actually want you to say the title because I feel like it'd be weird if any of us said it. Nabishin, do you want to say the episode number?
Sure.
All right, so it's I will read my exact quote back to
I
me.
will not pick up the DualShock controller.
The DualShock.
I have it bolded and highlighted at the bottom of the Google Doc as well.
Okay, so let me get audio hijack. All set
He brings in like another microphone just for this part.
I also have a Shure SM.
Yeah, it's just off screen just for the title.
He gets a pair of tongs and just uses that to pick up the controller.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 464.
I will not pick up the DualShock controller.
Listen to this boy yell. That's it. That's the show. Thanks everybody.
And I won't fuck the DualShock.
Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night. That was great.